Hello everyone, I am back. I apologize for the extended hiatus, which I did not intend. I completely forgot to mention in my last video, the question and answers video, which again, thank you to everybody who submitted questions for that, and you can continue submitting questions for the next Q&A when I get around to doing that. Don't have a set date for that, but go ahead and submit your questions to the email address down in the description below. But I should have mentioned in that video that I was not going to be online for the next couple of weeks because I was going out to Las Vegas with the family, visiting the grandparents. So that occupied a lot of my time. Couldn't film anything during that period, and that was that. And then as far as coming back goes, I planned on doing a video last week, but I just couldn't think of anything interesting to talk about because wrestling's been kind of boring lately. And not that WWE is bad, not that AEW, well, it's kind of, AEW can't get out of their own way, it seems. But there hasn't been a whole lot of interesting things to really talk about, wrestling-centric videos. We had SummerSlam, a show I generally enjoyed, was happy with the results. I popped for Roman, all that good stuff, but I was out of town when that show happened, so by the time I came back and could film something, I'm like, I don't want to talk about a show that's 2 weeks old. So I didn't have a whole lot to really talk about last week. So I've been thinking about and I've been brainstorming ideas for future videos that are non-wrestling related. This is the year of Godzilla's 70th anniversary. It's coming up in November, and I do want to do a couple of Godzilla related videos. I have an announcement regarding Godzilla that you'll be seeing in the next couple of months, so stay tuned for that. I've also been thinking about potentially, doing other things. I just started playing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a year late, but I finally got around and got time to start playing it. I'm still pretty early into the game. I've got well, I say I'm early. I've got 80-some shrines, but I've only beaten one of the dungeons. So I should probably get to work on actually advancing the main plot. I did get the Master Sword. I wanted to get, I wanted to level up substantially, so I've been targeting shrines, armor, Master Sword to kind of, level up and make the dungeons a little bit of an easier time for me. Which is kind of what I did in Breath of the Wild. So overall, I'm having fun with it. I have some issues with it, but with playing this game, it's also unlocked a lot of nostalgia for the wider Legend of Zelda series, so I've been toying around with the idea of doing some kind of a Legend of Zelda retrospective. Maybe I'll finally get around to doing that Batman the Animated Series video I've been planning for years. I literally filmed that thing twice, and I just wasn't happy with it, so that's just a case of, I couldn't figure out exactly how to tackle that one appropriately, so maybe, if I step away from wrestling at least somewhat, I can put a little bit more work into that video and come up with something a little bit better than what I had originally filmed. I was also toying around with the idea of possibly talking about, what I used to do when I was a kid when I would play with my wrestling action figures and, the fantasy booking that I would do. Kind of a Tales from the Toy Box or the TWF, the Toy Box Wrestling Federation or something crazy like that. Recounting some of those stories of what I would do fantasy book with my old WWF Hasbro figures, the classic toy line. And I've got some interesting stories there, and I thought maybe I could do something with that and turn that into a series of videos. Not to give too much away, but I will say that I did mix other action figure toy lines in with the WWF Hasbro figures and created fantasy cards that way. So you can use your imagination on what I did there. So that was something I was toying around with, so let me know if that's something you'd be interested in listening to. I don't know, but I've been trying to think of, different videos I could do outside of wrestling, because wrestling right now just, again, it's not bad, it's not terrible, which is part of the problem, because it's not terrible, but it's not I'm not super excited to watch every week either, so I'm in this weird middle ground where I'm it was fine. How many times can I come up in here, turn on a camera, and go, it was fine, it was solid. Nobody wants to listen to that. So I've got some ideas for future videos and things I could do. So let me know down in the comments below what you think, and if you have any ideas of things you'd like me to talk about. So, but I look forward to hearing your responses. But for this particular video, I do want to talk about All In 2024, AEW's big show in Wembley, their second year in a row that they're doing a Wembley show. Next year's show is going to be in Texas. Good luck with that. That's all I'm going to say there. Good luck with that. But I don't know. We'll certainly see how everything turns out. This card, again, I'm not blown away by the card, but I don't hate it. It's this weird, it's fine, I guess. Like, but not a whole lot that's really wowing me either. So I'll run through the card, give my thoughts and predictions, and then next week I can do some kind of a review and maybe talk about something else wrestling related before shifting into diversifying the content on this channel, shall we say. So, on the pre-show, we have Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway taking on Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii in a mixed tag match. This is perfect pre-show fodder. I would imagine Ishii and Nightingale would get the win here. Just a way for Stokely to get beat up, and hopefully we can put this Statlander-Willow thing to rest and have them move on to different things moving forward. Then on the main card, we've got the Casino Gauntlet with the winner getting a future AEW World Title match. I would imagine Hangman Page would win this. Who are the participants that we have so far? Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Hangman Adam Page, Evil Uno. Whoa, the stars are coming out for this one. And Roderick Strong. I would imagine Jeff Jarrett would be in it as well, and a bunch of anybody who's not in a major match on this card already is probably going to be involved in this Casino Gauntlet. I actually applauded them for doing this initially because I was like, oh, thank God they're not doing a ladder match, and then of course they signed a ladder match. But I would envision Hangman Page would win the Casino Gauntlet, go on to face Swerve Strickland for the world title, which is what I thought they were going to do for All In until they did the the Bryan Danielson retirement tour thing. So, but more on that in a minute. But since I already mentioned it, I might as well bring it up here. A 4-way London ladder match for the AEW Trios titles, because of course it's been a month. We need to have another multi-person with more than 10 people in it car wreck ladder match. Of course, that's just something the world needed. It's like we totally haven't had our fill of these stupid, terrible, spot-filled, dangerous matches that are instantly forgotten immediately after they're done. So it'll be the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne defending against the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn versus the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club members, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Again, stars are coming out for this one. Wheeler Yuta, yay. It's going to be every ladder match that you've ever seen in the last 15 years where it's just spot after spot after spot after spot. And I think back on how ladder matches turned into this. And really the turning point was like No Mercy 1999 and then the trilogy of TLC matches, even though the first one's technically not TLC, but it basically was. The WrestleMania 2000 one involving the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. And those matches really set the standard for ladder matches as we know them today. Thank you, boys. But I think those matches worked because you believed that all three teams hated each other and they would want to do these horrible, brutal things to each other. And as the rivalry increased, the intensity of those matches increased. So it actually felt warranted to some degree. But now it's just like, all right, whatever bodies we can throw in there, go for it, guys, go for it. And they're being thrown into this really dangerous match that should be reserved for major feuds, and they're just doing it for the sake of highlights and for the sake of spots. And that's why these matches have no meaning anymore. I've talked about the Money in the Bank ladder matches where at least the prize matters, but the match itself, I don't care who does what to each other in these matches at all. And it's like, I'll just, skip to the end and see who the winner is. And that's really all that matters in those and those are probably the better ones of all these multi-man ladder matches that they do, because at least the prize matters. But it's not fun to watch anymore, and that's the major problem with them. And it's the same thing here. It's like these matches just are not fun to watch anymore. It's just they've more than worn out their welcome, unfortunately. Who's going to win? I would keep it on the Patriarchy because why not? Christian's great. He's one of the best things in AEW, so just keep rolling with him. That would be my pick. So, from there, we have a 3-way tag title match as another way to cram people onto the show. But at least this one, it feels like the top 3 teams in the division going at it. That'll be the Young Bucks defending against FTR and the Acclaimed. This is going to be a pinball match, bodies bouncing around, only without ladders. So I will... God, who's going to win this? I will pick the Acclaim to win as kind of the dark horse. Like, because you expect it to be either the Bucks or FTR, and I can see them giving it to the Acclaimed as kind of like a, just as a way to surprise people. So I'll pick them to win. Then we've got a bunch of singles matches. I mean, when you have a battle royal, a 12-man ladder match, and a 6-man tag match, it's like, yeah, it opens up things to a lot more singles matches. So that's one thing I do like about the card. There are a lot of singles matches on there. Of course, because it's AEW and they have 900 title matches, or 900 titles, most of these are title matches. By the way, complete sidebar. Dustin Rhodes has recently won 2 of the ROH titles. He's won the Trios titles with the Von Erichs, and he's won the tag titles with Sammy Guevara. And I'm like, you know what? Can we just have Dustin Rhodes win all of the ROH male titles, like the TV title, the Pure title, the World title? Just have him win all of the ROH titles and then, like, unify them all and then just be done with them. Can we do that? Can we do that? I would be okay with that. Because it's ROH. Who cares? Like, really, who cares? Just give Dustin all the ROH belts. I'm completely fine with that plan. But anyway, so we have a bunch of singles matches, all of them title matches because AEW has 900 titles. Starting off with Chris Jericho taking on Hook in a last chance match for the FTW Championship. I would imagine Hook would get his revenge win here, would be my guess. I wouldn't be surprised if Samoa Joe did a run-in here to kind of help get revenge and equalize Big Bill's interference, so I would imagine that's something that's probably going to happen. I've said it before and I've said it again, I'm not feeling the Chris Jericho learning tree thing. I mean, he's come up with some great ideas, great gimmicks. He's had some great runs. This is one that just does not work for me at all. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But Hook wins here, and hopefully he's able to get some momentum from it moving forward. I don't know. So that is that. Then we've got 2 women's title matches. Both of them actually some of the better matches on the card in terms of like intrigue and build-up. You got Britt Baker challenging Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. It's the biggest women's star to come out of AEW as a homegrown talent, and Britt Baker making her return to pay-per-view, taking on the big acquisition that is Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné. So that's interesting, and it's intriguing. And the CEO versus DMD thing gives them a little gimmick, and you've got Camille involved. I'm a big supporter of Camille, so I'm glad that she's getting a run, and hopefully this leads to her developing and becoming something bigger and better, because I saw a lot of potential in her in NWA, especially those early episodes of Power, where she became one of the most intriguing things on the show. And I see some potential there, and she's a freak of nature athletically, looks great, and hopefully this turns into a big run for her. But unfortunately, this match kind of got marred by talks of Britt Baker's suspension and all that whole backstage drama, which is all the norm in AEW, unfortunately. But it appears we've moved past that. The match is happening, and hopefully it turns into a good match. Britt has looked good since she's been back. Better than she did when she took time off, because I could see, like, decline in her ability before she left. And I think that was, increasing health problems, her back, and, having a mini stroke and all that stuff. But hopefully this match goes well. I would anticipate Mercedes Moné to get the big win here, keep her big run going. And we'll see how that goes. The other match is the one I'm actually more excited for. Timeless Toni Storm defending against the Glamour Mariah May, her former protege, in a singles match for the AEW World Women's Championship. Great storyline, fantastic setup, and Mariah May has really come into her own as a heel. I'm not a fan of the name The Glamour. I would prefer it be the Glamorous one or Glamorous Mariah May, but that's a minor nitpick. But other than that, I think the storyline here has been fantastic, and I really want to see who wins here. Is Toni going to get her revenge on Mariah for betraying her, or is Mariah going to win the title? Well, since I have Mercedes retaining, I'll go ahead and I'll pick Mariah May to win the women's championship from Timeless Toni Storm, who's been champion for a long time, so it's not like she hasn't gotten a run. And I think now's a good opportunity. Put the belt on Mariah May, you've established someone new, and let her go off on her merry way and become a major heel for the division. But Mariah's really come into her own lately, and I'm really excited to see what they do in this match, because the storyline for this has been great. One of the best parts of AEW programming lately. Next up, we have Jack Perry versus Darby Allin in a coffin match for the TNT Championship. This should be good. I think this will be good, right? By the way, Jack's, like, personalized TNT title belt is kind of cool. Like, that was... And kind of cool is not usually a way I describe Jack Perry, but that was actually kind of cool. So, I don't know. This is going to be probably the crazy hardcore match of the show. I imagine this is going to be really violent, really crazy, and I hope it goes well. I'm going to pick Darby to win the title. I kind of want Darby to win. Like, he would be my pick, but we shall see. And then from there, we've got... Talked about that. I think we're good. Oh, for the International / American / All-Atlantic Championship, I swear to God, that belt is like the new version of TNA's like Legends title, which they renamed like 400 times. But anyway, MJF taking on Will Ospreay, and this is coming off the heels of their near hour-long match that happened on Dynamite where MJF won the title. Fantastic match. The problem is they already gave it to us for free on TV, and I'm thinking, it was like, all right, what can they possibly do? I guess the stadium setting kind of makes it more intriguing, but to me, if you're going to do a rematch so soon, you've got to kind of raise the stakes a little bit. And I'm not saying put them in a triple-decker cage and Vince Russo it and over-gimmick the holy heck out of it, but there should be some kind of an escalation, like 2 out of 3 falls, or something like that. And here it says, oh, we're just doing another match again. I'm like, oh, okay. I would imagine Will Ospreay would win with the Tiger Driver 91, because that seems to be where they're going with it, where they're calling out Ospreay for not using the move. So it's like, all right, so Ospreay's going to use the move to beat MJF and win the title. That seems to be where this is going, but I expect this to probably be the match of the night, if I had to guess. This is probably going to be the best match on the show. They had an absolutely fantastic match on Dynamite a few weeks ago. So here's hoping that they continue the trend and have an even bigger and better match in the major stadium setting. So that should be great. So yeah, I'm looking for Will Ospreay to win the title here. And then finally, we have Swerve Strickland taking on Bryan Danielson, with Bryan Danielson's career on the line. I mean, initially I was not all that excited about this match, because I felt like there was more storyline with Hangman and Swerve given their history, and I felt like that would have been the more interesting one. And initially it seemed like they were doing Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland in that I respect you too type of match. I'm like, ugh, boring. No one wants that. We want intensity. We want conflict. That's what we want. That's what makes the matches interesting in the first place. Goddamn star ratings. They ruined everything. But they turned the story around, for at least for me, where they announced Bryan Danielson's retirement if he doesn't win the title here. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And he's currently... all indications are he's currently working without an AEW contract. I'm like, ooh, okay, that's interesting. So what's going to happen here? I'm intrigued. And if this is Bryan Danielson's last match, I kind of want to tune in and see it. So, I mean, you got me, AEW. You got me. You came up with something, an attraction to get me to tune in. He's either going to win his last title or he's going to retire. Either way, I kind of want to see how this all plays out. I'm going to say I think Swerve is going to retain. That's how I think this is going to go. And Brian, I keep going back and forth between Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson, but Bryan Danielson is going to retire, bow out on the grand stage. And here's hoping that the match goes well, everything comes off without a hitch, and we have the second exciting main event in a row, because last year's match was terrific, and here's hoping this match turns out terrific as well. So, yeah, that is the card for All In. Like I said, not a bad card, few interesting things that I'm excited about. I'm not chomping at the bits to see the show. I'm not super excited for it, but there's potential here for some intrigue, and I think the major stadium setting is, because it's so rare for AEW to be in a major setting like that, it's going to, give it a more lively feel than it would otherwise. So, here's hoping that everything goes well and everything works out, and we don't have another backstage incident that kind of mars what was an otherwise great show. So that is that. I will be back next week with a review of All In 2024, and hopefully you all enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the show if you're watching it, but that is all I have for you now. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos. And if you want to submit questions for the Q&A, the email address is down below in the description. Go ahead and do that. But that is all I have for you now. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, and I will see you all later.